Today I am here to give you the full story about my thyroid. We'll start with family history. Thyroid problems do run in my family. My mom has thyroid problems. She was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and she currently has like a multi-nodule goiter thyroid. But she still has it, and she's doing okay, and she's actually not even on thyroid medicine. My grandfather, her dad, had actually had a partial thyroidectomy, but it was so long ago, and he's actually deceased now. He was old, but my mom can't remember why he had the partial thyroidectomy. Now, quite a few years ago, I was told that I don't have thyroid problems yet, but that I'm going to in the future, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's like, great. And then about, I want to say 4 years ago, I was told that I do have hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism is an underactive thyroid. And then I was also told that I have Hashimoto's, and Hashimoto's is the autoimmune disease where your thyroid attacks itself. So, awesome, right? But yeah, like I said, that was about 4 years ago. I've been on a T3 medication. T3, that's a thyroid hormone. I've been on that for a little while just to kind of keep things good there, because I think those levels were on the low side. And then fast forward to this year, in January, I noticed some lumps under my chin. Well, a lump, and then it turned into 2 lumps. The second one, really small, but I really didn't like it, and obviously, you find a new lump, you go to the doctor, and as you can see, that's where they were. Doctor sent me to have an ultrasound. The ultrasound didn't give enough information, and so then they sent me for an MRI. Now, when I had the MRI done, the results happened to also show that I had a mass in my thyroid. So I was sent to have a biopsy done on both the mass in my thyroid and the lumps under my chin. The results of the thyroid were of the biopsy were tricky. I have that here for anybody who is medical terminology savvy. I'll just read you a little part of it. It says, diagnosis, right thyroid fine needle aspiration, cellular aspirate comprising of thyroid follicular epithelial cells and lymphocytes, findings suggestive of follicular lesion in background of lymphocytic thyroiditis. And then it says a differential diagnosis includes can't say this word, adenomatous nodule, follicular nodule neoplasm in the background of lymphocytic / Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So that was just about the mass in my thyroid. So pretty much what the doctor explained as far as my entire diagnosis went is that that's a kind of cells that are sometimes cancer and sometimes not, and that the only way to truly determine if it is cancer is to take it out and do some further, more extensive testing. And it's just kind of like, okay. And he says, you don't have to do that, but then it's like regular monitoring and everything, and pretty much like, he didn't suggest that. He suggested the partial thyroidectomy, which is what I had done. That is what the scar is from. So, moving my thoughts together here. During the surgery, like they took out the right side of my thyroid, and they took out the lumps under my chin, which were extremely enlarged lymph nodes. Now, with the lymph nodes, they're able to do a certain kind of test or exam or whatever right away for instant results on whether or not this is cancer. And this was not cancer. But as far as the thyroid goes, and the type of cells that they've found, it's a little more complicated, and they can't do that like instant test with it. So I had the partial thyroidectomy done on June 12th, and I spent the night in the hospital, and my neck is still sore here, so it's kind of like when you touch it, it feels like a bruise. The incision site feels okay. It doesn't actually hurt, but I went and had the stitches removed yesterday. So I had the surgery on Thursday, and then the following Wednesday I had them removed, and the results showed that the mass in my thyroid is cancer. Obviously, I'm still kind of dealing with it. I will read you the little snippet of the results. So it is small. It is small. It is 1.5 millimeters in the dimension. It is papillary thyroid carcinoma follicular variant. So, as much as you try to prepare for that, doesn't make it easier. So anyway, the mass in my right thyroid lobe that I had removed, it was cancer. So the next step is I'm going back in next month to I'm trying to get through this. To have the left side removed, because I do have like little lumps in there, like really, really small ones, that if this turned out to not be cancer, that it would have been fine to leave it alone right now. But because the right side was cancer, the doctors advised that I do get the left side out, to have those lumps tested as well. And then after I get that out, I will have an iodine scan uptake test, or something, I think that's what it's called, where they'll see if there's any more cancer cells in my body. So hopefully not, because I'd rather not have to go through more stuff and have to, I'd like to try and avoid any kind of chemo. So, with thyroid cancer, they call it the good cancer, but there's no such thing as good cancer. There's nothing good that comes out of cancer. But it's I think it's the most survived cancer, or at least it's pretty darn up there. Pretty much once you remove the thyroid and just get tested and make sure there's no other cells in your body, then you're fine. But it's still cancer, so it's it's still overwhelming. I know it's going to be a few days for you to, be able to talk about it without, doing this. And this is not my intention of this video, it's just to, like, be helpful to anybody else who's going through this, because I know when I started going through this, I started looking at videos of people who had the surgery, and, just things like that, and, like, pictures to see, like, what the scars look like. So that's why I'm making this. Like, I really hate the fact that I'm crying right now, because I know I'm gonna be fine. Like, I know that, like, people don't die from thyroid cancer, but it's still cancer, so it's still, like, that's what's still emotional and overwhelming. Okay. Anyway, so next month, I have a pre-op appointment July 2nd, and then I will have my second surgery on July 10th to remove the rest of my thyroid. And so after that, I'll have that iodine scan, and I will then have my thyroid levels tested, and have my doctor figure out what's give me thyroid medicine, because I will have to take medicine now, to give my body the thyroid hormones that it can no longer create. The thyroid is, I honestly, I can't remember I talked about this. The thyroid is the part of your body that controls your metabolism. So you can live without it, but you need to, take the medicine to compensate for what it was doing. But, I also, because I saw my primary care doctor today, and he is sending me to an oncologist just to make sure that everything's, that I just take care of everything. And again, I know it will be fine. This is just it's still new. I mean, I just got these test results yesterday, so I know I'm talking with my hands a lot. I'm Italian, sorry. Anyway, I think that's all the information about this. So if you have any questions, please feel free, leave them down below, and I will let you know. I will also link down below my kind of 2 other videos I've done just about the previous things I was going through with this. My kind of like when I got out of my first surgery, when I got home from my first surgery, just like the kind of update on how I was feeling and whatnot. And then I also I vlogged the day of my surgery and the day after my surgery, and have that video. So I'll have those both down below if you haven't seen them and you want to. But I don't think there's anything else more I can say, so thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you